Welcome back to the Tampa Bay Rays MLB 25 franchise. It is draft day, and this will be the first chance for us to put a stamp on this team with young players that we find in the draft. My Discovery Scout did a really good job finding several outfielders and some pitchers that maybe we can look at later in the draft, but especially the outfield. And as a result of them finding so many outfielders, we didn't get very many infielders scouted, so not going to have many of them on the list. There is one exception, and I'll show you that in just a second. But we have over 60 pitchers on a list. I'll show you that list right now. I have this nice little handy spreadsheet set aside. So what we have is the player along the left. If they have an asterisk next to their name, that means their walks per nine is really good. So if that's a tiebreaker situation, we need to choose between two pitchers. We'll go with the guy with the higher walks per nine rating. So we have their age, their region, lefty-righty thrower, their initial overall, their initial potential, the gap between those two, and what they were originally ranked by MLB and by us. And then after we scouted them, either to 100% or at least 60% in the case of some of these guys in the eastern region, you can see what the overall range changed to, potential changed to, the gap still stays the same, and then what the final MLB rank is and our final Tampa Bay rank. And then what their bonus, what they're asking for. See, we have quite an extensive list in here. They're all color-coded, so anybody that's 20 or higher on their difference is going to get coded green, so that I know that they are probably going to have a higher potential but a lower overall. Anybody with red means they're probably going to have a higher overall, maybe a lower potential. And then the guys that are not coded red or green going to be guys that could be either way, just depends. It's a tight gap, so you never know how it's going to play out. We do have pitchers down here at the bottom that our Discovery Scouts found. 4 of them I forgot to write their initial overall and potential, that's why it's not filled in. And then on the reliever side, we didn't look at any of them because I scouted East region for the last 4 weeks, so we didn't go look at any of the relievers. Catchers, there's only one catcher I looked at, and I only looked at him for 1 week, and he really fell off, so we stopped looking at him. Infielders, not a lot scouted. I did scout this Elliot Jameson at third base, and his overall dropped from high of 95 down to 89. So he's in the running for our first pick, but he may go before it gets to us anyway. This Luis Garcia, this guy right here, I'm telling you right now, he is a generational player, and I will show you that right now. This is my final list over here. I'll go through that in a second, but Garcia doesn't look like a generational player at all. Still has MLB rank 21 and our draft rank of 23. But if we go to his initial card before we ever scouted him, you can see he's first overall for MLB, first overall for us, 18 years old. And Fiend Franchise, if you haven't watched his series on scouting, I would highly recommend doing that. He says if you have a player that's listed number 1 by the MLB, he's 18 to 19 years old, and his potential shifts after 1 week of scouting, which is what we did with Garcia. I only scouted him 1 week. I did it the last week just to see if this actually plays out correctly. I don't think we're going to draft this guy, but I wanted to see if this actually works in my draft so I know what to look for in the future. And sure enough, his gap went from 12 down to 11. So that means he is definitely a generational player. Additional thing you can look at is your bonus demand if it's higher than 10 million. In addition to that shift in the gap, which went from 12 to 11, that means that's a generational player. So Luis Garcia is definitely a generational player. And if you see those things, then you don't really need to scout him more than 1 week to know that. And you can use the additional weeks that you would normally spend on this guy on other players. So we know we have a generational player. I stuck him at the top of the list just so I wouldn't forget about him. But we're going to be looking at some of these pitchers within here. Brookshire's probably going to go before our pick, but I'm thinking Magruder, Manzanillo, Jordan, Grieve, even Robert Dixon have a shot to get to us with the pick at 14. We pick at 14, 36, 49, 88, 118, 148, 178. So we have 3 picks in the top 50, and we get through these pitchers. I have a bunch of pitchers listed at top for our first pick, and then I added a bunch of hitters. Joe Idem, we have ranked 15th. Really good power bat, especially against lefties. Very good defense, really good speed. Here's the third baseman, Elliot Jameson. Looks really good. Defense isn't stellar. He's probably going to come in the Bs, but if all of our guys that we're interested, especially in the pitcher side, go and he's still there, then yeah, I would definitely take him. And then we have some non-rated players. Let me go back to my spreadsheet here. Take a look at these outfielders. We have Andres Figueroa, 18 years old, has a gap of 25. Originally we had as 24, and now we have him as 3. Pete Murray, gap isn't quite as big. He's a little bit older. He's 23, but he's a guaranteed B in the 70s, and he jumps to 17. And then William Sanchez, a right fielder, a little bit older at 22. His gap stays the same, and he's pretty much guaranteed a B in the 70s as well. And then Stephen Rich, an 18-year-old, and looks like he's going to be high C up to a high B, somewhere in the 60s to 70s. And we have him at 35. So we have a lot of prospects that our Discovery Scout found that we can go in, these guys especially. And hopefully they will get through. No one else will have found them, and they can get through into our picks at 36 and 49. Figueroa would be the more long-term option. Pete Murray and Sanchez would be more immediate help. Murray actually has secondary position besides all 3 outfield. He can play shortstop, so that's intriguing. So when we get to our second pick, hopefully one or more of these guys will be there, and then we can figure out what we want to do. I definitely want to get Figueroa. Definitely want to get Murray. Get one of these 2 guys. We'll just see how they fall. And I think I'm going to have a choice here. If these 2 guys slide, who do I take? Do I take the older guy that can play right away within like half a season? Or do I guarantee I get that 18-year-old that'll help us long term? So we'll figure that out when we get there. But this is what our draft list is looking like. A lot of pitchers at the top of the list. Hoping to get some of these Discovery outfielders in the second, third round. And then we got a bunch of pitchers to finish out the draft. This is the catcher I scouted one week. He's down the list. Here's our Discovery pitchers. And at the bottom, I added a bunch of 22, 23-year-old players. So I don't forget about them. Maybe late in the draft we can snag one. Kerry Bingham, Elmer Sanchez, Merrill Isaac, and Vern Porcelli. You got 3 catchers here just to try and find something. They're probably going to end up being low overall and high potential, but we'll just see. They may not even get to us, but didn't want to forget about them. So that's where we stand. Get back to the top here and see who takes this generational player in Luis Garcia and which pitcher we decide to take at 14, or do we go ahead and take the center fielder or third baseman instead? So let's hop into this draft and see what happens. All right, here we are, round 1. You see we pick 14th. We also pick again at 36 for this competitive balance round, then at 49, 88, and on. So got some early picks, like I said, 2 picks in the top 50. That'll be interesting. And then we'll see if we can get pitchers and some of these Discover outfielders and get this team stocked up. I really want to get some of those outfielders because we have plenty of talent in our starting rotation at the major league level. We got a couple of prospects, and our outfield prospects aren't nearly as good. So really want to focus on that if we can. But we'll just see who's available with this first pick and go from there. So let's get started. And with the first pick in the draft, Washington Nationals take Kevin Brookshire. Didn't expect him to be there with our pick. Very good pitcher. Nationals should be happy with that. And the second pick in the draft, Angels take Cosmo Estrada. Had him a slightly overrated. Guaranteed B, though, in the 60s. Gotta like that. And with the third pick, Lauren Knotts goes to the Mariners. We have him overrated so far. Number 1 player, we know he's generational, has slipped past the first 3. That's interesting. So let's see if the Rockies or Cardinals or somewhere along there decides to take him. This guy right here, Luis Garcia. At 4, Colorado takes Gerard Padilla. Decent bat, decent thing. He has to come in on a higher end, but he was definitely not someone we thought would go there. Ryan Gatlin, third baseman, goes. Nice power bat, good speed too. Nice pick. Still waiting for Garcia. Pirates, Jermaine Carruth, third baseman. Really good hitter, decent fielder. All right. Nate Kind, so the Marlins pass on him. Take a good pitcher. Kind was on our list. Good hits per 9. To work on the rest of his per 9s. Toronto takes Steve Manzanillo. He was somebody we had in mind for our pick. Good player there. Hits per 9 a little bit low, but his walks and strikeouts were good. Still, no one has taken Luis Garcia. Here comes Robert Dixon. He was definitely on my mind. Guaranteed B potential in the high 60s, low 70s. Great numbers, great walks per nine. They got a good pitcher there. And the White Sox don't take him. Now we're at Dana Jordan, who was definitely on our list. All right, so three of our pitchers go in a row. Still have Magruder, our top pitcher, left. Jeff Grieve goes, another good one. Low walks per nine, hits per nine, though. We got 2 more picks. And a generational shortstop is still sitting here. There goes Jose Perez. All right. I don't know what is wrong with Garcia. He's guaranteed to be a generational player, and oh my goodness. It is our pick, guys. I was looking at Magruder and maybe one of the... We know this guy's a generational shortstop. Just based on what I showed you at the start of this video. we have a chance to take it. All right, we're not even going to mess around. We are drafting Luis Garcia. I know we have Carson Williams, but Garcia can play second and third, and we know we need a second baseman. We don't have a good one in the minors, so we're not going to waste any more time. We're taking a generational player at 14 overall. Luis Garcia, welcome to the Tampa Bay Rays. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? Okay, well, Ricky, I was looking at you. You look pretty good, but all these teams passed. Look at all those pitchers. And there goes Ricky Magruder right after. Yep, he went right where I was thinking he was going to go. I was all set to take him if we got him. But I'll take the bat. All right, let's see where the rest of these guys go. Don't know much about him. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to scout many of the infielders. I only put Garcia on there for 1 week just to test out Fiend Franchise's draft scouting information. And it is definitely true. There goes Elliot Jamison, the third baseman we were thinking about. And there goes Idem. So they were right in the same range within all 5-pick range. Magruder, Idem, and Jamison go. So we had our draft board set up properly. We didn't expect Garcia to drop, though. Wow. I'm stunned. Could not have started our franchise with a better first-round pick. Hopefully some of these Discovery outfielders will sneak through the rest of this first round and nobody else discovered them. All right, here we are. Competitive balance round. 3 more guys go before it's our turn. And then we have a decision if these 4 outfielders are still here. There goes Cuevas. He was overrated. We looked at him early in the season. 2 more guys. So we're guaranteed to get one of these outfielders. And are we going to have a shot at all 3? Yes. All right. So now we have our choice. Figueroa, guaranteed B. Sanchez looks like he's a guaranteed B. Low B, though. But in the 70s, where Figueroa would start lower in the 60s, we could use him right away. We also have Pete Murray, guaranteed B, in the 70s at 23. He's the one that I was talking about. Yeah, he's going to be much better right off the rip. So do we go with Pete Murray, who's got solid bat across the board, really good stealing and speed, passable defense? Or do we take Andres Figueroa, who's going to take a little bit of time? He's got a great hit skill, decent power. Defense is not going to be as strong. He can play all 3 outfield and first base. So they both are made it through. I'm going to take a chance here. I want the older guy that can step in and play like next year. So let's go grab Pete Murray. Hope Figueroa slides through. We only have a few picks, comes back to us again, and see if we can double dip and get both these guys. I'm going to kick myself if I don't get Figueroa, but let's get Pete Murray right now. There we go, Pete. Welcome to the team. Now let's cross our fingers. Hope Figueroa gets through. If not, we can settle on one of these 2 guys if they can get through. Wasn't expecting us to get Garcia in the first round. I thought we were going to get a good pitcher, and we're going bat heavy, and I'm not opposed to that at all. All right, top of the second round. 9 picks before we pick again. Looking at Figueroa especially, Sanchez, and Rich. Man, if we get 3 bats, 2 outfield bats, and a generational middle infielder, this is going to be one of the best drafts I've had in forever. And it is our pick. And as you see, those outfielders did not go. So Figueroa, Sanchez, and Rich are here. I'm not going to mess around. We're going to go ahead and take the young guy right now before somebody else snags him. I don't want to lose this guy. We can develop him up. And there we go, Andres Figueroa. So got the generational player. We got our number 2 player on the board. And we got another outfielder that can start basically in the majors. I might put him in AAA for part of the season next year. But wow. All Our Discovery Scouts found outfielders, and we're snagging them. And Stephen Rich goes 4 picks before ours, so we're not going to get him. But William Sanchez, the other right fielder, is still there. He's also 22. Hopefully he comes in on the higher end and not the lower end. Great fielding, arms a little okay, but another bat that's going to take no time to be Major League ready. All the other pitchers we had up here, these are all Discovery pitchers, are gone. So let's go ahead and take Sanchez. We're going to get 4 bats to start this draft. Welcome to Tampa Bay, William Sanchez. Now we're into round 4. Got a bunch of Discovery guys at the top of our list. Nothing special down here. And I think this guy is going to be a reliever. Doesn't have the stamina to be a starter. And let's take a shot on Waslewski. He's going to be at least a B or an A, and we'll have him in the pen. Wasn't expecting to draft a reliever, but hey, let's just grab this guy, and hopefully he's good for us down the road. Look at that glove. He's ready for the majors already. And the 5th round, we have Tate Whiteley. Probably going to be a C in the 60s. No other players are available that we scouted. Let's look on the big board. What about those catchers? Porcelli's there. He's going to be in the 50s, though. Yeah, they're all going to be in the 50s. Ranked. Got running out of time here. Mitch Hernandez. Another one in the 50s. Yeah, there's not a whole lot. I tell you what, let's take Tate Whiteley so we at least get 1 starting pitcher. It's not going to be much upside, but at least he's a lefty. Maybe we can make him a reliever. And here we are in the last round. Not a lot. Marshall Wood, looks like long-term prospect. Anybody else? Nope. No catchers. Another shortstop. Yep, let's take a shot on Marshall Wood with our last pick. And our draft is over. Let's go through this real quick. Luis Garcia, generational shortstop, falls all the way to 14. I was looking at Ricky Magruder, Joe Idem, Elliot Jameson, and a couple other pitchers in the first round, but Garcia falls to us unbelievably. So we're going to get a generational player in the first year at pick 14. Our next pick, we get this slightly older guaranteed B in the 70s center fielder Pete Murray. You can also play some shortstop. And then we get the number 2 player on our board, Andres Figueroa, a little more of a long-term prospect. Then we add a slightly older right fielder, guaranteed, pretty much guaranteed to be a B, definitely in the 70s, left-handed bat that can play all 3 outfield. Jeff Lasnewski, very low stamina for him. He's going to move to the pen, so his overall is actually going to dip even more, but he's going to have a lot of room to progress, so hopefully he's a high B or an A. Tate Whiteley, not a very high overall pitcher. Another prospect guy that we're going to just move to the pen. That'll dip his overall, give him room to grow as well. And then Marshall Wood, looks like a B to an A. We'll see. It could be worse than that. It could come back as a C potential because he falls. But, you know, we're just taking a shot in the dark here in the last round. And we are done with the draft. So we're going to move our way through this All-Star week. We're not having anybody in the Home Run Derby. We'll look to see who's on the All-Star game for us. And the Futures game, I'm going to go in, watch this game, and get to the box score, because if I just sim this date, we won't see what the box score is. And I don't know if any of our players are going to be in it. I would expect people like Carson Williams or somebody else would be in there, but we'll take a look at the box score when that game's over, and then we will move through the rest of this month in the episode, get through to the trade deadline. I'll have to look and see who's out there on the trade block, see if there's any trades that make sense for us. And then we will get through this day here so we can get all of our guys signed, and that'll wrap up our episode. And here we are at the All-Star game. We're not going to watch this. I just came into the screen to see who made the roster. You can see Ryan Pepio, 10-4 with a 233, makes the All-Star team. So does Pete Fairbanks. Hitters side, we don't have anybody in the starting lineup and no other hitters. Nope. So it's just Pepio and Pete Fairbanks make the All-Star team for the Rays in 2025. And the National League defeated the American League in the All-Star game, so they'll have home field advantage in the World Series. And in the Futures game, Xavier Isaac, our slugging first baseman, who's hitting .280 with 25 doubles, 12 home runs, and 47 RBI in 92 games, is our lone representative. And hopefully he'll do something good here. As I sim through this game, I'll show you the box score and the final results in just a minute. And the American League pounded the National League 9-3 in the Futures game. Look at this box score. Our guy, Xavier Isaac, goes 2 for 3 with a run scored, 2 RBI. Had a big 2-run double earlier in the game in the third inning. Win goes to Hagen Smith. Remember him from the White Sox? Sal Stewart had a 2-run homer in the first for the National League. That was pretty much all their offense. As Bubba Chandler gives up 3 runs, Zach Maxwell 3, Andrew Lara 2. And the American League pounds out 13 hits and wins the Futures game. And it's time to sign our picks. We're not going to go sign Garcia yet because since we scouted him only 1 week, he's less than 50%. But let's get these non-rated guys that we did discover, see if we can get them signed very quickly. Figueroa declines. Murray declines. Come on, guys. Sanchez says yes, thank you. Lasnewski signs. Whiteley signs. And we'll take these 2 guys off the board. Add Garcia and Wood so we can get them hopefully up to 50% this week and try and finish this class off. All right, let's try it one more time with Figueroa and Murray. Nope. And Murray signs. There we go. So we'll have everybody, the last 3 guys here, and hopefully we can get these guys all done next week. And we come out of the All-Star break, beat Baltimore 2, lose Game 3, lose the first game against the White Sox, then pound the White Sox in Game 2. Take a look at this. Christopher Morel hits another home run. Richie Palacios, 3 home runs. 3 for 4 with 5 RBI. Hit 3 home runs, batting 9th. My goodness, have a day, Palacios. Rasmussen, not a strong start. 6 walks is kind of gross. Vassell didn't pitch much better, but we pound out 15 hits and 4 home runs and get the dub. And we get Luis Garcia signed. He wanted $12 million. We only had to pay $5.6. What a bargain. We get a generational prospect and we don't have to pay him over $10 million. All right, let's see if we can get Marshall Wood signed the first time we offer him. And he does. There we go. So it's down to Andres Figueroa. We're going to offer him 1.5 this time. And he signs. All right. So everybody is signed. And we'll get to the trade deadline, see if we make any deals. And then from there, we'll go take a look at the final ratings for all of these draft players on our team and the other teams. And before we get to the trade deadline, we have some extensions that we can sign. We have 4 pitchers in the starting rotation that are due extensions. I think some of them, like Taj Bradley and maybe Shane Baz, probably just Taj Bradley, are renewable. And I really don't want to break up this rotation. We don't have a lot of replacement guys to call up if we lose them. I already said McClanahan wasn't going anywhere. So let's see what we can sign these guys to right now. Budget, we have $50 million available. We only have $36 million committed for next year. Hassan Kim, not sure we're going to bring him back after that. Yandy, we might get rid of him and bring up Xavier Isaac. Rasmussen's getting up there as well. Brandon Lau's getting up there as well. And since we drafted that Garcia guy, we could slot him in and he'll be the starting second baseman after 2026. So we don't have a lot of money spent. So, yeah, let's keep this pitching staff intact as much as we can and develop these young players up and have a really good mix of young players and veteran pitchers. And Shane is going to ask for 5 years, $25 million per. His arbitration number is going to be in the 20 mil range anyway, so we might as well get it beyond that, get him up through age 32. I have no problem paying this contract. He's one of the best pitchers in the league, when he's on. And you can see 144 strikeouts, 132 innings. Win-loss record isn't the greatest, and that's because our offense is so spotty. So let's see if he'll take this offer. There we go. Shane McClanahan, 5-year extension. Ryan Pepio next. And he's looking for a little bit less. 5 years, 15 mil per. It's going to take our payroll up to 77 mil. It's going to be a lot of money in our rotation, but they're good. They're young. I really don't want to have to replace them with an older free agent type guy. And yeah, this will take him up through age 32 as well. So that gives us basically 5 years to find some replacement pitchers in the draft. We drafted so many hitters this year. I definitely will be looking for pitchers next year. And let's see if he takes this. And he does. So top 2 pitchers signed for 5 years each. Taj Bradley has 1 year renewable, 2 years of arbitration, 3 years of arbitration. All right, Taj Bradley looking at 3 years, 7.3 per. That'll get him through his arbitration. And we'll have a big decision after that because we'll have 2 more years of Pepio and McClanahan. We could always deal one or both of those guys off if we have better, younger pitchers. And let's see if Taj will take this 3-year deal. Nope. 22.5. Yep, there we go. And you can see at the bottom, max offer 0. We cannot afford to sign Shane Baz right now. We'll have to wait until the offseason to get him signed. Hopefully get it done before we go to arbitration. One bat we can sign, though, is Christopher Morel. See if we can get him a little bit cheaper. $10.5 million for 2 years. $11 million for 2 years. 11.3 for 2 years. There we go. So we do have a power bat signed, and we'll take the rest of these guys into the offseason. And here we are on July 28th. Lost 2 out of 3 to the White Sox. Beat the Reds 2 out of 3. And now we have a 4-game series at New York against the Yankees heading into the trade deadline. You can see we're 2 games behind the Yankees in the American League. I'm sorry, 2 games behind the Orioles in the American League East. 1.5 games behind the Yankees on the wild card side. We are firmly entrenched as the number 2 wild card, 4-game lead over the Angels. So this is a battle for second place and the number 1 wild card. And we're just going to hop in here, quick manage these games, not show any gameplay, and see how we do at New York in this big 4-game series. And game 1, we'll have Drew Rasmussen against Max Fried. Yandy leads off with a single. Caminero walks. Lau strikes out. Morel grounds out. Man at second and third, 2 out. JD singles. There we go. 2 RBI. He's been struggling, sitting right around 200 since we got him. Caratini makes a 3rd out. Jazz walks, strikeout, single, and double play ends the inning. Kim strikes out. Lowe strikes out. DeLuca doubles. Yandy walks. Junior. 3rd out. Single, fly out, double play. Lau grounds out. Morel pops out. JD grounds out. Get a walk. Hit by pitch. Line out. Fielder's choice. Get men at the corners and 2 out. Bellinger walks to load the bases for Stanton. And he strikes out. Caratini walks. Strikeout. Fielder's choice. And another fielder's choice. Fly out, single, strikeout. Strikeout. Top of the 5th. Top of the order. Double by Diaz. Caminero 2-run shot. There we go, Junior. Need more of that. Loud doubles. Man, they're pounding Fried this inning. They can bring in Efros to face Morel. He flies out. JD grounds out. Caratini strikes out. Bottom of the 5th. Ground out, strikeout, double. And a fly out. Strikeout, strikeout. Pop out. Ground out, fly out, and a ground out. So Rasmussen's through 6 with 4 hit shutout on the line here. Fernando Cruz comes in. Strikeout, fly out, and a strikeout. Fly out, a walk, fielder's choice, and a strikeout. So he's through 7. Mark Leiter Jr. comes in. Is up a 1-out single, and that's 3. Rasmussen getting tired. Let's change and get him out of the game. We're going to go to Kelly. It's been excellent all season here in the 8th. It's a pop out, a strikeout, a single, and a 2-run homer by Cabrera. Yankees get back to a 2-run game here, and we get Goldschmidt to strike out. So we're going to go to our closer, Fairbanks, in the 9th. Ground out, strikeout, and a pop out New pitcher. Bring in Pete to finish this off. Walk. Pinch hitter walks. Come on, Pete. Fielder's choice. Man at the corners. 1 out. Another fielder's choice. And we get out of it. So Rays beat the Yankees 4-2. Look at this box score. Yandy, 2 hits. Caminero, 1 hit, 2 runs scored, 2-run shot. Also walked. 2 hits for JD, including a 2-run single. Rasmussen, 7 shutout innings. Kelly gives up that late home run, but Fairbanks nails it down and gets his 35th save. And now we are just a half game out of second place. And game 2, we got Ryan Pepio against Garrett Cole. Great matchup. And Johnny DeLuca had some back tightness, so Palacios is going to sub in and play center field and bat 9th. And Victor Caratini also needs a day off, so Ben Rortvet will come in and give him a breather.
Let's play ball.
All right, top of the first. Josh Lowe, fly out. Kim doubles. Lau singles. 1-0 Rays. Morel flies out. Yandy grounds out. Jazz starts it off with a double. Ground out, strikeout, single. For whatever reason, he didn't score. Didn't even move up. Must have been an infield hit. And a fly out. A strikeout, ground out, strikeout. 2 walks in a row. Double play. Another walk. Man, 3 walks in the inning. And we get out of it. Palacios is out. Low walks. Got a fly out. Lau strikes out. 1, 2 outs. Walk. Stolen base for Stanton. A single by Cabrera ties the game. And a strikeout ends the inning. Morel singles. Yandy double play. JD singles. Caballero singles. Ground out ends the inning. Goldschmidt fly out. Single. Double play. Single. Fly out. Pop out. Fly out. Go to the bottom of the 5th. Still tied 1-1. 2 ground outs. A walk. Fly out. Morel singles. Yandy flies out. JD fielder's choice. Caballero flies out. Strikeout. Fly out. Ground out. 2 ground outs. 3 ground outs. Double by Peraza. Fly out. 2-run shot by Chisholm gives the Yankees a lead late. Pop out by Volpe. Got to go to the bullpen. I should have taken him out before then. He's tired. I wasn't paying attention. And let's bring in Clevenger to face Bellinger. Strikes him out. Ian Hamilton coming in now. Single by Kim. Single by Lau. Morel strikes out. Come on, Yandy. He walks. Bases loaded. JD Martinez. Double play. Goodness sakes. Non-clutch AB by Martinez there. Stanton doubles. Cabrera 2-run shot. It's now 5-1. Walks Wells. New pitcher. Spring and Zach Natelli hasn't only pitched all year. 10 innings. Double play and a strikeout. All right, 9th inning, down 4. Bottom of the order up. Tim Hill coming in. Pop out, strikeout, and that's it. DeLuca, he's going to stay day-to-day with that back. Look at this box score. 2 hits each by Kim, Lau, Morel. Just couldn't put any runs besides the one past. Pepio left him in too long. Too many walks. Clevenger didn't help the game at all. And we lose game 2 and fall back another game behind the Yankees. All right, game and a half back. 2 games to go. Let's see if we can get these last 2 games, win this series, and see what trade deadline holds for us. We got Taj Bradley against Luis Gil. All right, Josh Lowe leading off. Pop out. Walk. Lau strikes out. Morel strikes out. Ground out. Fly out. Fly out. Diaz walks. Caratini double play. JD singles. Caballero flies out. Ground out, walk. Double by Peraza makes it 1-0. Strikeout. Strikeout. Palacios strikes out. Ground out. Fly out. We get a single. Caught stealing. Ground out. And strikeout. All right, top of the 4th. Ground out, single. Strikeout. Come on, Victor. Nope. Fielder's choice. Ground out. Fly out. 2 out single, and he's wiped out on a fielder's choice. Get a walk by JD. Caballero singles. Got min at the corners. Nobody out. Let's go sack fly here. And we get the sack fly. So game is tied now. Man on first and 1 out. Get a pop out and a strikeout. Fly out, ground out, solo homer. Taj got to quit giving up home runs, man. Pop out to get out of it. Down 2-1. Strikeout, hit by pitch. 2-run homer by Yandy Diaz. There we go. He has not hit nearly enough home runs this year. And his average isn't where I expected it either, but that was a clutch one there. Give us a 3-2 lead. Caratini pops out and a strikeout at the end of the inning. Rodriguez strikes out. Bellinger walks. Steals second. Chisholm walks. One more batter. Ground out. Peraza. Strikeout. There we go. I'm going to take him out. He's done after 6. Weaver comes in, gets a pop out, fly out, and a strikeout, and new pitcher. And let's bring in Vassell. It's a line out, a pop out, and a pop out. First 2 out. Double by Morel. Come on, Yandy. Clutch again. Yes, another 2-run homer. There we go. 2 2-run shots by Yandy. Doesn't want to get traded. I was considering looking up a trade possibility with him. And he must have read my mind. Strikeout ends the inning, so we're up 5-2. Vassell hits Volpe. Get a fly out. And a double play erases that. Fernando Cruz comes in. Martinez with a single. Caballero with a 2-run shot. There we go. Walk to Palacios. Strikeout. Pop out. Lau pops out. So it's now 7-2. We're going to make a pitching change. And I'm not going to bring in Fairbanks. We're going to bring in Yoseda. Non-save situation here. Get any trouble, we'll bring in Fairbanks. Chisholm pops out. Wells flies out. Peraza doubles. Mayhew walks. And we get out of it. Rays win 7-2. See the box score. Morel 2 for 3. Yandy 2 for 3 with 2 2-run homers. Also a walk. JD 2 hits, 2 runs. Caballero 2 hits, including a 2-run shot. Bradley does just enough, and the bullpen shuts him down. 1 hit allowed over the last 3 innings. We are back to within a half game of the Yankees for second place and the #1 wild card. And we are at the trade deadline. Zach Littell is going to be a free agent. He's making $5.7 million, and you can see he's only pitched 11 innings all season. Done well, but he's only appeared in 6 games. We have him as a long reliever. It's just not using him. And the rest of the bullpen's been doing the job, so we're going to offload that 5.7. We're not going to bring him back next year anyway, and let's see if we can get some sort of prospect for him in a deal. And we found a trade. This was actually suggested to us by the computer. Tommy Troy for Zach Littell. You can see Troy is buried behind Geraldo Perdomo, Garrett Hampson, Jordan Lawler, Blaze Alexander. He's just stuck down here. Shortstop at 23, B potential 68 overall. He can also play second, third, left, and right. Doesn't have the highest hit numbers, but we'll take his position flexibility. Maybe he can be a utility player for us at the major league level at some point, and we'll go ahead and make this deal. Diamondbacks want to make this deal because they have Brandon Pfaadt injured, and they have Jordan Montgomery and Merrill Kelly both on expiring contracts. So trying to improve their starting rotation for this year and possibly next. So welcome to the Rays, Tommy Troy. And as a result of that trade, we're going to offload Taylor Walls. We don't want that $1.4 million sitting down in AAA. And we're going to send him to the Royals for this 23-year-old C potential 63 overall Hunter Owen. And after the trade of Zach Littell, we have an open roster spot at the major league level. So we're going to bring up Cameron Meisner, give us an extra center fielder on the bench. All right, let's hop into this last game. We're not going to make any more deals. We have some younger catchers sitting out there, but I think it's going to be something we look forward to in the offseason rather than right now. And let's hop into this game against the Yankees and try and get the 3 out of 4 win in the series and leapfrog over them in the wild card and in the division. And on the mound today for the Rays, trying to win this 4th game of the series, Shane Baz going up against Clark Schmidt. All right, leading off, Josh Lowe. Grounds out. Caminero flies out. Lau strikes out. 2 strikeouts, a single, a walk. Ground out ends the inning. Fly out, hit by pitch, a double by JD. He's playing left field today. RBI double, 2 outs. Error by Caballero puts him at the corners, and a fly out ends the inning. Ground out, single, strikeout, and a fly out ends the inning. Strikeout, fly out, ground out. 1 out walk, single by Stanton, 2 on, 1 out. Ground out, second and third and 2 outs. Strikeout ends the inning. Martinez 2 out hit, fly out ends the inning. Ground out, strikeout, walk, stolen base, fly out. Go to the 5th. 3 straight outs. Volpe leads off with a single, get a pop out, a single, 2 on, 1 out. Vaughn singles, makes it 1-1. Single by Cabrera makes it 2-1. And a double play gets us out of the jam, but we give up the lead. Now we're trailing 2-1. Get a ground out, strikeout, a 2-out walk, and a strikeout. Baz rolls right through the 6th. JD walks on base for the 3rd time today. You bring in Tim Hill. Ronda walks, so 2 on, nobody out. Caballero pops out. DeLuca, fielder's choice. Low fielder's choice, so they pitch around that jam. Give up a single. Caught stealing. Another single. Strikeout. Let's get Vaughn here. There we go, fielder's choice. That'll be it for Pepio. That'll be it for Baz. Now Mark Leiter comes in for the Yankees. Caminero grounds out. Lau flies out. Yandy strikes out. Go to the bottom of the 8th, and we're going to get him out of this game. And I think we're going to go with a thing. Let's go with Kelly. Fly out, strikeout, and a fly out. Go to the 9th, trailing 2-1. Caratini facing Devin Williams. Strikes out. JD singles. Pinch run for him. Let's bring in Palacios. All right, Aranda, 1 on, 1 out, single. Tying run at second base now, Caballero. Tying run at second base now, Caballero. Hit by pitch, got bases loaded for LaDuca. We're going to have to pinch hit for him. Or do we go sac fly to tie the game? Let's go sac fly. And he strikes out. All right, so it's up to Josh Lowe. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the 9th against Devin Williams. And he grounds out. That's a shame. Should have pinch hit for DeLuca. Look at the box score. We only had 4 hits and 3 of them by J.D. Martinez. He was our entire offense. Baz did not pitch poorly. Kevin Kelly did his job. We just, it's hard to win when you only get 4 hits and 3 of them come from one guy in the order. All right, I've had this trade slider all the way down for most of the season. We're going to kick it all the way up to the middle for the deadline so I can sim through and see if there's any big trades that go through on this last day. And no trades were made other than ours, so I probably need to slide that slider up earlier in the season. We do see Xavier Edwards goes to the Cardinals for Michael McGreevy the day before. Rangers got Luis Robert Jr. for Jack Leiter. Wow. So there were some trades just earlier in the week. And now it's time to take a look at our draft picks and see what they were. Luis Garcia, Fiend franchise, is 100%. You need to watch his video on scouting. It is right on the money. 99 potential, 78 overall. I can't believe he fell to number 14. I am in shock still. Pete Murray, a little bit older, 23-year-old center fielder. He's 73 overall with 86 potential. Very level bat. Everything is really good. High clutch. Only deficiency is his arm, so we can work on that. He might start the year AAA and get up to the majors pretty quick. Andres Figueroa, had him 3rd on our board. Already major league level as far as his contact. Got to work on his power, work on his vision. Really good discipline. He's going to be an on-base machine. His biggest issue is not only his arm, but that 43 durability, so we'll have to see how much that hurts him in his development. William Sanchez, again, another older outfielder we took. Already has major league level power. Got to get that contact up, discipline up, and his arm, good durability, so he should be able to be up the majors within a year. Jeff Lasnewski, he's the starting pitcher I got that had low stamina, sitting at 63. We're going to move him to the pen right away, and that 57 clutch is already going to help since he has 41 hits per 9. Tate Whiteley, 64 overall, 75 potential. Not a long-term solution, but lefty we could bring in, use in long relief, maybe use as a 5th starter or whatever. Worst case is we could trade him off later. And Marshall Wood, 88 potential, 50 overall. And we can get him developed up, and maybe he'll be up in the majors by the time he's 25. So what a draft. We got 1, 2, 3 Bs, 3 As, and a C. I would say that is a really good draft considering we got the best player in the draft at 14. Let's go look at the rest of the division. Toronto, Steve Manzanillo, 88 potential, 63 overall. Terrible hits per 9, but great pitching clutch at 61. Yankees, no Bs. Harper Bradley's already major league ready, 72 overall with 75 potential. Ricky Magruder, that's the guy we were going to take, and I'm glad we didn't. 41 hits per 9, I knew that was low, but I didn't know his pitching clutch was 20, so that makes him almost unusable. did get Philip Jew, and he's in the same way. 24 hits per nine, 19 pitching clutch. San Diego needs to add pitching clutch to the stats that is displayed, so we know which guys have good pitching clutch and which ones don't. Get a decent relief pitcher here. Orioles get a 96 potential, 63 overall. Center fielder and Fletcher Charles, not bad. It's just low numbers across the board. It's going to take him a while to develop, but he's got blazing speed, can steal, play good defense. See the rest of these. Dana Jordan, considered him our first pick. 87 overall, 65 overall, 87 potential, 65 overall, just not going to strike anybody out. They get an A potential, Lincoln Castilla, 61.93. Low hits per nine as well, or strikeouts per nine, I'm sorry. Get a B potential catcher here. Guardians, 88 potential, 61 overall, second baseman. Good contact, just got to work on power and defense, and again, 34 durability, so he might be injury prone. Elmer Calero, thought about him. 72 overall, 84 potential, but he has 32 pitching clutch, so that's going to hurt him. Cuervis, we looked at him, and he came out 55. Glad we didn't consider him past scouting. Royals get one guy here that's a B. Everybody else's are C. Eric Ariano, 97 potential, 70 overall. So the Twins found another potential generational player. Great contact, vision, discipline, clutch. Got to work on his power and his arm. Got a B first baseman. Already has decent power. And an A potential catcher that's only 52 overall. Estrada, 65 with 85 potential. Jeff Greaves, 64 with 88 potential. Another one, look at that 30 pitching clutch. That's terrible. 82. 86 right fielder, Jeb Davis. He's got a while to go. Adam Irvine, 58 with 86 potential. Another one that's going to take a while to develop. Good defense, good speed. Just got to work on his rest of his offensive skills. Almost an A potential reliever there. Nate Kind, 59 with 87 potential. Caballero, 57. Looks like he's a reliever. 61 stamina. Ha was their only B. Nothing there. Brookshire, that was the number one pick in the draft. We had no chance to get him. He's only going to need a year or two, and he'll be up to the major leagues. Jameson was the third baseman he looked at. He's already got really good power, vision, discipline. Just got to work on his contact and his defense. 79 bunting. Okay, power hitter that bunts. But he should do well for the Cubs and Wrigley. Get a potential catcher. He's got a ways to go. Can't throw, though. Dixon, I thought about him, too. 70 overall, 86 potential. But again, 24 pitching clutch. And they need to put the clutch on there when we scout them. We need to know this. Anderson Bartley, A potential, 58 overall. Just got to work on his contact power. Connors, an 88. 91, got A potential here with Fernando Almanzar, 60 overall. Again, 27 pitching clutch. An A catching prospect that needs to work on his defense and power. Dino Gonzalez, 65 with 89. Just needs to work on power and defense. Russ Ray, an A potential pitcher for the Rockies, and at least his pitching clutch isn't in the tank. Control is. Gustafson, same way. So they did get two A potential pitchers. It's too bad they're not 18. They really need those guys to develop up. Davia, 57, 88. Padilla, 51, 87. Got a couple long-term pitchers. Bobby Munson, starting pitcher, 70 overall with 88 potential. Again, pitching clutch, 35 when his hits per nine, 67. That's never good. A potential center fielder. He's got a long way to go. Fletcher Charles, we already looked at, and we're back to us. So, what an incredible draft. Can't believe Garcia fell to us. And we'll get his position changed in the offseason to second base and see how quickly we can get him up to the major leagues. So, if you like the series so far, please like, subscribe, comment, share it out. Hit that notification bell so you know when the next episode goes live. And I will see you very soon with the next episode of Tampa Bay Rays MLB 25 franchise.